What's up, everybody? I got some NBA player props for you guys to hammer for today, Monday, November 6th. My name is Matt Modi with Jedi Modi Sports Network, and I have four NBA player props for today's NBA betting slate. Overall, this NBA season has been hit or miss for me in this young season. Started off incredibly hot. I thought things were going to be amazing. Then I had a brutal cold streak, and then it's been up and down since then. So overall, my total profit is right around break even. But real quick, to do a recap from last time, I gave out NBA player props, which was Friday, as I did not have anything over the weekend. Unfortunately, the Friday was the downswing of the up and down that I've been on. 0 for 3 on my NBA player props. All three of these are heavily juiced. So if we gotten one to hit, we would have been profitable, but we did not. Overall, as I mentioned, we're right around break even with these NBA player props. You'll notice the win-loss record is not great, but as I mentioned, I pump up the actual stats themselves to get pretty juicy odds. So the goal here is not to maximize win percentage, to maximize profits. Worked for baseball. It's currently working for NFL. Trying to find it for the NBA. So as I mentioned, I got four today. If you're not already, would appreciate it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel and let's chat. So the first play that we're going to go ahead and lock in here is in the Bucks versus Nets game. We're taking Giannis 30 plus points plus 175 odds at FanDuel. So the Bucks, kind of similar to me, haven't quite had the start to the season that they were hoping for, right? They haven't been terrible, but they definitely have had some growing pains. Now, the majority of the growing pains they've had is on defense. Their defense has been terrible, like one of the worst defenses in the NBA, but their offense hasn't been great either. And it's been kind of weird. They haven't run a ton of pick and roll with Dame and Giannis, which seems like a cheat code that could just easily generate points. Maybe they're trying to slow play it. Maybe they're just, again, working out some kinks with them two playing together for the first time. No matter how you slice it, regardless, they're 12th in offensive DVOA, which is definitely disappointing considering the trade they made to get Dame. They would have thought they would be a top 5, top 3 offense. But for this game specifically, I am expecting a massive game for Giannis. The Nets have a bad defense on all accounts. Net rating, they have the 24th ranked defense. And then just looking at raw stats, they gave up 116 points per game, which is ranked 22nd. Whether it's Nick Claxton, whether it's Ben Simmons, no matter who they put on Giannis, he can very easily overpower them just with his sheer size, assuming he does play aggressive in this one. Looking at his stats, Giannis has only hit 30 points once so far this year to further prove the point of how weird of a year it's been for the Bucks offense. And he's coming off of two pretty slow games in a row. 2 games ago against Toronto, he only scored 16 points. That game was a blowout pretty much from the jump. He didn't play a ton of minutes. Then last game in a victory, but he only scored 22 against the Knicks. So I don't think he's going to continue to have such a slow start offensively. Same thing with the Bucks. I do think that they'll get it together. So I'm expecting him. I think he's going to show out in this one, have a good game as our first play. Next up, Lakers versus Heat game. We're taking D'Angelo Russell, 4 plus made 3-pointers, plus 360 odds at FanDuel. So prior to today, I had been doing splash zone plays where I specifically and solely only did 3-point props. I'm opening it up a little bit to more pumped up props that are not specific to the splash zone, but I do have one splash zone play today. Excuse me, a little bit of a tongue twister. So we're hoping D'Lo can get us wet today. Again, 4 plus made 3-pointers, plus 360 odds. D'Angelo Russell has sneakily been pretty good for the Lakers and like one of their most dependent non-Anthony Davis, non-LeBron players. He's been better than Austin Reeves, who's had a slow start to the year. Now, we have a decade basically of D'Angelo Russell's career, so this is not me saying I think he's going to continue to be this good for the entire year. It's early, but it's been good so far, and I think that at least for the short term, we can expect him to continue to play well. Eventually, the shoe is going to drop. I don't think it's going to be tonight in a big game against the Heat. Because of that, and because of the fact that Anthony Davis and LeBron are older and injury prone, he's been leading the Lakers in minutes played in games as well. He's consistently playing around 35 minutes. His shooting from deep has been hit or miss, as it has been basically his entire career. But I like backing him tonight because he is getting up more and more attempts as the games go on. And he was recently hot from deep until the last game. Last game, he had a horrible shooting game against the Magic. He shot 1 of 10 from deep. I love the fact that he's getting up 10 attempts. And also, what I love about D'Lo for this specific play is he's never been shy to get up shots, even if he's not shooting well. In the previous two games, he had been shooting well. So one cold game is not going to scare off D'Angelo Russell from shooting a ton. The Lakers need him as a floor spacer because they don't have a ton of shooting on that team, especially with Gabe Vincent injured and with Austin Reeves struggling. So he's probably, once again, D'Angelo Russell going to put up a ton of attempts in this one. The two games prior to last game, he was 3 of 6 and 3 of 7 from deep. So he had been shooting well. It's a big matchup for the Lakers against the Heat. So he's probably going to play heavy minutes again. He's yet to make 4 this season, but he's gotten 3 a couple times. So he's hovering right around there. In a good game, an important game, I think he's going to shoot a ton. If he can bounce back from a bad shooting game from last game, this will come through for us, cashing 360. Next up, we're sticking in the same game, Lakers Heat. I'm taking Jimmy Butler, 25 plus points, plus 240 odds at FanDuel. Speaking of a big game for the Lakers and Heat, I'm backing Jimmy Butler to basically have his first good game of the year. He legitimately has not gone over 20 points in any game so far this year. He's had exactly 20 a couple times, has not exceeded that. He's played in 5 games. Here are his point totals: 19, 14, 13, 20, 20 in 5 games. Unsurprisingly, the Heat have started pretty slow. A lot of that is because they can't get anything going offensively. The Heat have a 2-4 record. Now they're going up against the Lakers in a massive game. I also love situations. So his main line, Jimmy Butler's main line on the point total is 20.5. Again, he has not exceeded that at any point this year. And I love situations where the books do that. They price something knowing that the player rarely hits that number. It's obviously not a 100% success rate, but this is a situation where the books know something that Jimmy Butler is going to come out and have a good game. It's literally a number he hasn't hit yet. That's kind of part of my strategy, is to fade recent trends like this. And people are going to say, see, oh, he's 0 for 5 on his point total over under. He's gone under every single time. Well, guess what? I'm going to take the under. To me, that feels like the perfect time to buy Jimmy Butler. And this next stat, I understand, obviously isn't perfect, but last year Jimmy Butler had 25 plus points in both games against the Lakers. Kind of not really anymore. A little bit of a revenge narrative for the bubble finals. And the Lakers defense hasn't been great, not as good as you would have expected heading into the season. They're giving up 115.7 points per game, which is ranked 21st in the NBA. Their defensive net rating is the 20th ranked defense according to net rating. So I think Jimmy is going to go off in this one, cashing 25 plus points. If you want to ladder that up to 30, I would not talk you out of that. I'm only tracking if he gets to 25, but if you want to get to 30, I like that as well. And then last up, fourth and final pick of the evening in the Clippers versus Knicks game. I'm taking Russell Westbrook, 8 plus assists, plus 240 odds at FanDuel. So Harden's first game with the Clippers, I think everybody is going to try very, very hard to make it work. And for Russ specifically, I think that's immediately becoming a distributor, not shooting a lot, trying to set up everybody on the offense, trying to be malleable as possible to make things work. And with James Harden, there's always going to be a honeymoon phase where he joins a new team and everything seems perfect. When he first joined the Sixers, he played awesome. The Sixers were really good. Same thing when he first joined the Nets. Granted, he was better at that point in his career, but still, there's always a new, when he first joins his new team, it's always going to be sunshines and rainbows, everybody trying to make it work. Now for Russ, I will admit that there is a little bit of concern here because we don't know what his usage is going to look like with James Harden. We don't know how often he's going to have the ball in his hands. Now, Russell Westbrook is the only player on the Clippers of their big four who can't shoot, right? Harden doesn't like to catch and shoot, but he can shoot. And then Kawhi and Paul George are obviously very good shooters. So if it becomes Russ is a little bit more of the de facto point guard, James Harden is the shooting guard, and then Russ and PG are the wings, Kawhi and PG are the wings, that would obviously help his assist numbers a ton. But there's definitely a projection for what his role is going to be. We don't know that. But we do know that Russ has been pretty good from the passing department so far this year. He's averaging 7.5 assists per game. Not quite the double-digit, triple-double years from what we remember. But considering where his career has gone to since then, that's not bad. He's hit the 8+ number twice, and then he's had 7 in another game, so he's hovering right around that number. Assuming that this game stays close, he'll probably end up playing 35+ minutes. if not more, depending on how often Harden plays. It is Harden's first game of the year. But for plus 240 odds, the value here is pretty good. As our fourth and final pick of the evening, I put 1 unit on all 4 of them individually. I also sprinkled $5 on them in a parlay. If we can get one of the D'Angelo Russell one to cash, we're profiting. If we get any two, combination of the 2 to cash, we are definitely going to be squarely in the green. And if we get all 4, we will be rich. So let's hope for that. And that's all I got. So appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a good one.